everyone, this is Tad Hargrave. Welcome to another edition of the YouTube Marketing Coaching Series for Radical Business. And so the last series we talked about the niche. This series we're going to talk about the irresistible offer. And what is that? And in fact, there's a book I want to recommend called The Irresistible Offer by a man named Mark Joyner, Joyner. But I'm really in agreement with him that the core of your business, the core of your marketing is what you're offering. And when people look at what you're offering, there really is this question like, what is this? What's the price? And is there a high return on investment? So we want to look at this idea of the ROI. The ROI, or also in Latin what's known as the quid pro quo, which literally translates to this for that. So what's the return on investment they get? What's the quid pro quo? They're going to give you a certain amount of money, and what do they get in return? And that needs to be very specific, explicit, and compelling. That we want to develop offers that are so good that people look at them and say, "Dan, I'd be a fool to say no to that. Hell yeah," that kind of response. My friend Dominic Canterbury, his website is dc-strategic.com in Seattle. He's really brilliant. One of the things he'll do, he'll sit down with his clients, help them figure out a target market, and then help them think about the offer. And this is important because if I said, I've got a good friend of mine, whoa, I probably shouldn't touch my mic. I just deafened my sound man. If I said, I've got a best friend and I want you to go get him a gift. And there's some high stakes to this because if it's a gift he loves, I'm going to give you $1 million. If it's like the perfect gift for him. But if he doesn't like it, you never get to see your family again. And that doesn't include your in-laws. So it's a high-stress thing because you don't know anything about my friend, so how the hell are you going to get a perfect gift for him? It's sort of luck of the draw. Maybe you'll get it by accident, and wouldn't that be nice? But it's the same thing in marketing. If we don't know who we're approaching, who we're going after, how can you design a perfect offer for them? So the offer is the gift, the promise that we're making them, you know? So we want to think about who is it that we're going after. That's why we spent so much time on the niche and who it is. So what Dominic will do is he'll sit down with his clients and he'll say, who's the target market and what could we design that would get a great response? And then he'll sit down with somebody from that target market, his client and himself, and they'll reveal what they came up with. And they watch very carefully the response. They don't tell them. They're sort of going to be observing them, or that's what it's about. But what they want from this person is for them to look at the offer, read it over, hear about it, and just say, wow, hell yeah. Where do I sign up? This is incredible. Yeah, I'd be a fool to say no to this. And they're really looking non-verbally for their reaction. So that's how you know you've got a good offer, is that people are sort of beating down your door to get it, and that people are really excited by it. So it's not enough that they just say, oh, interesting, that's very cool, that's a great idea. You're looking for that visceral kind of, this is incredible. Wow, I've been waiting for something like this. This is perfect for me. And this is an important thing in marketing. Remember, people want to find perfect fits for them. People are looking for stuff that meets their needs. People are looking for just a tailored thing. They would love to find that. People love shopping or buying things. Some genders more than others. People love shopping and buying, but they don't like being sold to. Everyone loves kind of finding the perfect thing for them, but nobody likes that feeling of being sold to. So it's okay to think about how can we design something perfect. And when we're looking at the offer, there's three things. I want to come back to this poster, which if you saw the first video, we talked about. So when we talked about the offer, I said there were three things that we're looking at to define how irresistible an offer is. The first is how relevant is it? The second is, so it's relevance, credibility, and value in your offer. And so let me sort of explain a bit more about what these are. When we're talking about relevance, this is where we're looking at, is there a problem they have that they know can be solved and must be solved now? So there's a lot in that sentence there. So do they know that their problem can be solved? If you're sort of reaching out to people to solve a problem, but they've been told their whole life by the institution, by the medical profession, by whoever, that the problem is intractable and unsolvable, and they believe that, you can't do anything unless you educate them that the problem can be solved. They also need to believe it must be solved. Not that it should be solved. They don't need to, but to the extent that people believe that they have a problem that can and must be solved now, to that extent, it's going to be a lot easier for you to do business with them, and a lot easier for them to move from being just a prospect to a client. So do they believe that it can be solved? Do they believe that it must be solved, or just should be solved? Because if they're kind of like, well, yeah, it's a problem I know it can be solved, and I should really handle that. It's the whole conversation really needs to be about helping them understand the consequences if they don't, and what they could get if they do, and doing that in an ethical, non-manipulative way. But that's kind of the conversation. And then, is it something that should be solved now, or someday and later? And we all know, and if you're in the health field, you know that most people come to you in a crisis. They come to you when it's now they've got a problem. Now they're coming to you. You don't usually have people showing up at your door saying, "Hey, I just was coming in for maintenance work." It's extraordinary what people do, but it's not often. So that's the first thing for relevance. Is this relevant to them? Is there a problem that can be solved? They know can be solved and must be solved now. To the extent those things are true, it's relevant. Then credibility. Credibility is so important. And this is basically, can you solve it? Do they believe that you can solve the problem? And don't take for granted that they think you can do that. So it's kind of the thing, if there was a room full of chiropractors and you had back pain, which I understand is a characterization of chiropractors, do you believe that all of them can solve it? Maybe you look at some of them and you think, you know what, I don't think they could help me. I don't trust them. They don't have credibility with me. Then the third question is value. And this is really, the heart of this is who can solve it better. Again, if there's that room of chiropractors, now you've got to start making a decision of who are you going to pay the money to. And you're going to start looking at who can help me better. And better can mean a lot of things, which we'll go into in the next episode. So thanks so much for watching. And at the end of this, there's a different there's a website where you can go to get a download, a PDF download, all about the offer. It's about 70 or 80 pages long, and it's free. There's no charge for it. And I hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much.